Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Tony Porter back from the dead. There was a major power outage, and I was down and out for days. I slept in my car and played a couple of games from my car, actually. But it was very, very uncomfortable. It was a smaller car. I could have used the larger cars, but they were farther away from the house. They weren't parked in the right spot. There was snow and ice, so you couldn't really move it around. But I turned up the heat and I survived it. And I am back with another presentation of our program called Blast from the Past, where we go back in time and we play those 70s and 80s games. And I will constantly be on the lookout for different new games, new games to me, games that I don't have from that period, and kind of learn them a little bit and talk about them and play them. And I do this at least once on a Sunday. Every so often, I'll do it twice on a Saturday and Sunday on a weekend. I may do it one game per weekend or 2 games per weekend. And just to intro, I got this new book, 108 Stitches by Ron Darling. I already read a little bit of it, and it was a story about Kekich and I think it was Peterson. I believe it was Kekich and Peterson who swapped wives and swapped families in the 70s. Pretty crazy story. And this is all about kind of loose threads, ripping yarns, darndest characters from my time in the game. So a lot of little anecdotes. So we're about to start a game between the 1976 Reds at the 1986 Mets. This is a tournament of great teams from the past, as chosen by the members of the project. Each member picked a team. I picked the 86 Mets, not the 70s Mets or the 69 Mets, because I felt they weren't going to really compete in a game with all superstars. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But I picked the 86 Mets because I think they have a nice balance of the 5 tools. And we're going to see how the Mets do versus the 76 Reds in this tournament. I got 3 games at home versus the Reds, and each manager picks their lineup and picks their pitchers, their rotation. And before we start the game, let's hear from our sponsors. 1970s, 60s, late 60s, early 70s commercials. Let me see if I quiet down my dog, who's unhappy because they took his partner to get some training. All right, there we are back, and we're right about to get started with our game. It is the 76 Reds versus the 86 Mets, and there's a nice crowd here at the Chomsky Dome in Chomsky Town in our imaginary tournament world. Let's see, let's go there.
Looking for sound effects?
All right, let's get this done with. Let's see if we can get rid of that. There we go. All right. It's a little bit loud. Let's bring that down a little bit, and we will start playing the game. Now, this game took me $10 to get into. It's a lot of fun, easy to play. One thing I did not get ready is our gamble. Okay, I need our gamble cards. This is a critical part of the game right there. It's the gamble deck. And let's see, now I gotta get. All right. We got our gamble deck and, of course, the pitcher batting cards. So let's get started. We're rolling 2d6. Actually, let me grab a red one, a red and a white one. It's easier for me to interpret here. Where's the other? Oh, here they are. A red and a white die. Do I have the white die hiding down there? All right, this thing will work. No, I don't want that one either. You know what? I'm just going to use a black and a white. If the black is higher, it'll be off the pitcher. If the white is higher, it'll be off the batter. So that's how we'll do that. And let me see. Both pitchers, Nolan, they're both just pitcher batting cards. Standard pitcher batting cards. Nothing special. Pitcher bat cards. There's one there. Hopefully I have the other one. I don't know that I will. Oh, I do. I'm organized. A little bit more organized than usual. All right, and here are the gamble cards, which really are the key part of this game. This is a real fun game. This is game one of the. It's a tournament, a great teams tournament, and today it's going to be. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, there we go. All right, and that's enough for that. And let's do this. Now let's look at the lineups. For the Reds, it's going to be the lineup that you know and love. It's going to be Pete Rose. Pete Rose followed by Ken Griffey. Then comes Joe Morgan. Then comes George Foster. He's not with the Mets, even though he was in '86, but he's going to be used by the Reds. Johnny Bench batting fifth, playing catcher. Batting sixth is Tony Perez, the first baseman, batting sixth. Batting seventh is Cesar Geronimo, the center fielder. The star shortstop is Dave Concepcion, batting eighth, and batting ninth is Gary Nolan, the pitcher at bat card. All right, and for the Mets, it's going to be Lenny Dykstra. Wally Backman, the second baseman, batting second. Batting third is the Keith Hernandez. First baseman, batting cleanup is Daryl Strawberry. Gary Carter batting fifth, the catcher. Batting sixth is Hojo, not a very good shortstop. Kevin Mitchell batting seventh, the left fielder. Batting eighth is Ray Knight, third baseman. Batting ninth is the pitcher, Doc Goodman. Let's do this. And I haven't played a game comfortably in probably in a week. It feels like forever. Comfortably, I've played a couple of games, but they've been in the dark. And I played the 2015 Stratomatic World Series with my son, and the Mets lost again, this time 4-2. And then we started playing the garbage can series between the Astros and the Yankees. We should finish that today. That series is tied at 2 apiece. So let's do it. Dwight Goodman is a right-hander, an ace. All those things come into play. And Gary Nolan's going to be a righty, and he's just a plain pitcher. Let's do it. And I have the rules here to my right and some information. This is not a lot of charts, this game, and you'll see. Plays very simple, very easy. It's a very fun game to teach anybody around your house. If you have nephews or nieces or cousins or that are younger and want to play baseball, this is a great game to teach them, and it's a lot of fun. All right, the only thing is it's mainly past ball players. But you can I think you can also create modern ball players. You can create your own cards as well, and you can buy them from, I think it's Downey Games who does this, I believe. I'm not totally sure. But it cost me $10 to get the gamble cards, and that's all it takes, about $10, and you're in this game. Instead of paying, $350 for a 1976 Stratomatic set, which is preposterous. All right, it's a 1-4, so the one would be the higher number would, I believe that we said, let me take a quick look. I haven't played this in a while. All right, here this game. All right, card. Let's see. Preparation, drafting, equipment, general. Reading the dice. I think if the black one is higher, it's off the pitcher. If the white one is higher, it's off the batter. So we're going to read a 5 off the batter, and that's going to be a short single for Pete Rose. So Pete Rose is on at first base with a single. And let's get this going. Single for Rose. So we're using the iScore system on an iPad. I paid $80 for the 8x8-inch iPad, then I paid $100 for a 10-inch iPad. And that was 4 years ago, and so it's a really good investment. It keeps all my stats. I don't have to worry about anything. It's easy to learn. Trust me, if it wasn't easy to learn, I wouldn't be doing it. So Rose is on at first, and here's Ken Griffey. Here's a pitch from Dwight Goodman, and again, snake eyes. So let's see. We're going to pull a gamble card and see who it's going to be off of. It's going to be off of the pitcher. Snake eyes off the pitcher, and that's going to be a double. But it has a exclamation mark. So let's get all that stuff available to us as well. An exclamation mark there. And let's see what that's going to mean. There's a couple of symbols that I use that I kind of look up real quick. And the meaning of the, here it is. It's a wrap symbol. Pick a gamble card. If it's a batter image, it's a home run. And it's a pitcher image. So a pitcher image is whatever it is on the card. It's a double. And on that double, let's see. It's a straight up double. So it says faster daring runner scores. And I believe that P. Rose is a faster daring runner, and he does score. So it's 1-0, just like that. Reds, right out of the box. Reds lead the Mets 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. And next is Joe Morgan. He's a lefty hitter. Let's turn him around so I know that. Hey there, who's that? ID Jester. How are you, brother? Welcome to Blast from the Past. This game I know is around since the 80s. Time travel baseball. All right, it's Joe Morgan. Here's a pitch from Dwight Goodman. Goodman checks the sign. Looks over at Griffey. And Howard bangs the glove, keeping Griffey closer to the bag. Here's a pitch. And that is a 4-5. That's going to be off Morgan. It's a 9 total. And that's going to be a hard hit ground ball. And this is going to hold Griffey off the top of my head. Again, I haven't played this in a little while. So a hard hit ground ball, runner advance. Runner does advance. Not on he won't advance on a sharply hit ground ball, but he will advance on a hard hit ground ball. So ground out, and it's going to be it's a 4-3 because of course he's a lefty. And let's do that again. Again, I have not played in a few days because of the power outage here in Texas. And I did play in my car, and I did play during the day on my basically my dining room table. Here's George Foster with 1 out and runner at third base. So the 86 Mets are going to be playing in on the grass for this to prevent the run. See what happens. Here's a pitch from Goodman to Foster. That's a 6-5. That's going to be an 11 off Goodman, and 11 is ball 4. So he walks Foster, puts runners on first and third. Now you're asking, I wonder what the results are. What the stats, the end stats of this game would be like. Well, They're pretty realistic. We have, if you go to the Time Travel Baseball Facebook group, you will find all the stats from the last tournament that we played, or not, it wasn't really a tournament, it was a league. It was, the stats were very realistic. You know, the good home run hitters hit a lot of home runs, and the poor ones didn't hit many, and so on. The good hitters hit for a high average. The lower average guys, you know, hit for lower averages, and so on and so forth. And you had the top pitchers at the top and the not so great pitchers at the bottom. So it, you know, it plays close to reality. Johnny Bench is up, runners on first and third. Again, now we're going to move the infield. We're going to bring the corners in and the middle back. Let's do it. Dwight Goodman is trying to get out of a little bit of a jam. It's a 7, but it's going to be off bench, and that's a high fly ball. High fly out. This may be a fielder, a sacrifice fly. Let's see what that is. Runners hold, so it is not, unless, of course, the careless defense, and they are not careless, so it's a fly ball to center field. Lenny Dykstra settles under it and hauls it in, and it's not deep enough to advance anybody. So here comes Tony Perez. He's another lefty hitter from what I remember. Am I right or wrong? No, I'm wrong, actually. So he's a righty. I was looking at the next guy. Next guy is Cesar Geronimo. He's a lefty. All right, here's a pitch from Goodman. First and third, 2 outs. The infield is at regular depth. 1-0 Reds. That's a 32, which is a 5 off Dwight Goodman. That's chopped into the ground at the third baseman, Ray Knight. He fires the first in time, and the Mets allow 1 run, but they get out of a sticky situation and prevent any more runs. So that makes me happy. So we move on to the bottom of the first. You are watching Blast from the Past, and let's hear a word from our sponsor before we go back, just to get you a feel of what we do here in Blast from the Past. I'll take a second to walk into our sponsors. Let's see what we got here. Go back to the 70s.
On the same program, the most awesome, the most terrifying monster ever to invade the planet Earth, the blood beast from outer space.
Hi, Pedro. Haven't seen you for quite a while. See, I've been spreading the word to my people. What word? It's actually 3 words: Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, yes, you like it, huh? See, my people hear so much about Kentucky Fried Chicken, they want to come here to try it. It's the best food value in town. Where are your people from? Ireland, I think. That's right, folks. People come from far and near to enjoy the one and only world-famous Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. Golden brown, taste-tempting chicken. Made from the Colonel's secret recipe of 11 different herbs and spices. Go to your nearest Kentucky Fried Chicken location and discover why there's nothing in the world like Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Hi, team. We're the Monkeys.
Did you tell them about the TV show yet, Mike?
No, man. I was going to sneak it in. You gotta be very civil about these things.
You're going to tell them that we'll be on NBC TV starting September 12th at 7:30 p.m. in colors?
Cool. What's more fun than a barrel full of monkeys?
Gosh, Rooney, Mike. I don't know. What is more fun than a barrel full of monkeys?
A train full of monkeys. Dig. KHJ started the last train to Clarksville, and they're going to take hundreds of lucky listeners on a trip September the 11th. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. KHJ happening to wrap up the summer of '66.
And us monkeys want to meet you at the station in Clarksville. Yeah, each of us will give away a color TV set. So enter now. All you do is send a postcard to Monkey Trip, Box 38130 Hollywood. Starting Tuesday morning, the bus jocks draw a winner every hour, and each winner gets to bring a friend.
Mail your card in and ride with the monkeys.
On the last train to Clarksville.
All right, we are back. It's the bottom of the first. It's 1-0. The A's. Nice crowd here. And let's do this. It's Gary Nolan. He is the ace, I guess you would call him, the ace of the Reds. And he's facing Lenny Dykstra, left-handed hitter. We're using iScore to keep track of the stats. Now let's do it. And basically, if the white is higher, you read off the batter card. If the black is higher, you read off the pitcher card. So the white is higher, it's a 10. It's going to be a short single question mark. That means if Gary Nolan was a lefty, Lenny Dykstra would get robbed of a hit. But no, Nolan's a righty, so that is a base hit for Dykstra. Wally Backman. And he doesn't strike out. We struck out once there, twice. And this guy doesn't strike out much. But Dykstra is daring. So no, not going to do a hit and run. All right, so here goes. It's an 8 off Nolan. That's a deep fly ball. Back goes Griffey. Settles under it. And he's got it. So Backman, a switch hitter, gives it a ride. Here's Keith Hernandez, one of my favorite players. And here's a pitch to Keith Hernandez. He bats from the left side. 1 out, 1 on. And that is a 4. That's going to pull a gamble card, and it's going to tell us it's off the batter. A 4 off the batter is a strikeout. 2 down. All right, there. I digested. You work out okay? Texas weather last week. Everything okay? Nothing in the world like Kentucky Fried Chicken. I digester. I slept in my car for 2 nights, my friend. It was not fun. I'm going to be buying a generator. I'm going to be buying some box of candles, a few lanterns. I won't be left, at the mercy of our infrastructure here in Texas, because I mean it was 25 degrees, and then it went down. Of course, got colder when there was no electricity. But when the electricity went out, it was about 25 degrees outside. So that's pretty ridiculous, man. I'm a guy who lived in the Northeast for about 30 years and never, ever, ever was the electricity affected by cold weather. This is preposterous. And it was all the natural gas and the oil industry that didn't winterize their infrastructure. They didn't protect it against the extreme cold. So it seems it froze over. That's my understanding. So anyway, a big miserable experience with no electricity. If you needed anything, if you needed to have some sort of system on because of your health, I feel bad for you because you were out. There was nowhere to go. There was no information on the radio. Turn on the radio, you just heard music. Believe it or not, you'd think there would be some sort of news from the city government explaining what to do, and sending trucks out to take people to warm people up, or who knows what. But there was nothing. Absolutely, you're on your own, brother. You're on your own. This is a corporate state, and you're on your own. But corporations are constantly getting money from public money all the time, right? We pay them. They don't give anything back to society. They don't pay any taxes, because there's no state tax in Texas, and they don't pay a federal tax either. Companies like Amazon, no tax, pay no federal taxes. They actually got money back, I think, last year. All right, so let's not. So we got a runner on first, and here comes Daryl Strawberry. Daryl Strawberry, big power hitter for the Mets. Young guy, started in '83. This is '86, so he's about 23 years old here. And let's see what happens. Gary Nolan. Oh, it's a 64. That's going to be a 10 off the pitcher. That's a strikeout. So he gets Strawberry swinging to retire the side. We go to the top of the second inning here. 1-0 Reds. Here's Cesar Geronimo. Here's a pitch, and that is an 8 off of Geronimo, and that's a strikeout. Here comes Dave Concepcion, right-handed hitter, 1 down. That's a 6 off Concepcion. That's a sharp ground ball to the shortstop, Howard Johnson, over to first in time. And now it's the pitcher, Gary Nolan. He's at bat. That's a 7 off the pitcher. That's a take a gamble card. And there's nobody on, so it's a ground ball, ground out, second base. But if second baseman's a 0, which I believe he is, he's daydreaming, so the ball sneaks into center field for a single. Ouch. Wally Backman. Backman, I remember him as a pretty decent fielder, but not in this game. He's a 0. So that's a single for the pitcher, Nolan. 2 out, runner on first. And here's Pete Rose, switch hitter. Let's get that in there. Pete Rose, one of my favorite hitters or players of all time. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be an 8 off Goodman, and that's a sharply hit ground ball to the first baseman. Keith Hernandez is there. Races to the bag ahead of Rose, and that retires the side. And here we go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Reds. Reds leave one on, score none on it. And here's Gary Carter, acquired from the Expos. That's a 7. We're going to pull a gamble card. Nobody on. That's going to say batter is safe at first on error by second baseman. Morgan boots one, and Carter is safe on an E4. I truly enjoy playing this game. It's very, very straightforward. I like the cards. They're kind of old school cards. And here comes Howard Johnson. I think I got a little coffee stain on the back of these cards. I think I was cutting them when I was drinking some either hot chocolate or. All right, here's Hojo. Pitch from Gary Nolan, runner on first. And that's a 10. So it's a 5 and a 5. We're going to pull a card. It's off the batter. A 5 and a 5 is an infield pop-up. Infield pop-up is going to be second baseman. He gets it. One down. Next is Kevin Mitchell, right-handed hitter. Pitch from Nolan. That's an 8 off Nolan, and that's a deep fly ball to left field. Back goes Foster to the track and makes the catch. 2 down. And next is Ray Knight. Pitch from tonight, and that is a 5 off Nolan. That's a chopper to shortstop. Concepcion, who waits, now charges, fires on the run, and just gets Ray Knight at first to retire the side. And here we go to the top of the third. Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
It's baked by Sara Lee. There's no mistaking the very best baking in Sara Lee.
Treat your family to a special breakfast the easy Sara Lee way. Treat them to Sara Lee cinnamon nut coffee cake. All butter pastry, full of sugar and spice and everything nice. Cinnamon, nuts, raisins. Or serve Sara Lee caramel pecan rolls, all topped off with crunchy pecans and gobs of caramel. Both made with fresh butter, eggs, whole milk. Completely baked, then frozen right from the oven, so you get them oven fresh. Find them both in your grocer's freezer, freshest place they can be. Surprise your family tomorrow. Serve Sara Lee cinnamon nut coffee cake or Sara Lee caramel pecan rolls.
Trust your taste to tell you. It's baked by Sara Lee. There's no mistaking the very best baking in Sara Lee.
And my dad, rest in peace, he loved those Sara Lee cakes. I remember every night after dinner, he'd have a slice of Sara Lee coconut. He had a coconut cake, and he loved that coconut cake. And I wasn't far behind. I think he used to bring coconut because we liked it less than the chocolate, and the chocolate one would go in an evening. Everybody would dig into it and it would be gone. So he would bring the coconut. That would last 3 or 4 days. All right, here's Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey's 1 for 1 with a double. Here's a pitch from Doc Goodman. We're in the top of the third. Let's look at our scoreboard. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Reds. There it is. Here's a pitch from Dwight Goodman. That's going to be a 4 off Goodman's card. That's a strikeout. Blows a fastball by Griffey. Ken Griffey's going to eventually be on the Yankees in a couple of years. Next is Joe Morgan, and that's a 6 Goodman's card. That's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Dr. K. And here's Dwight Goodman versus George Foster in the top of the third. And that is a 4, and that's a strikeout. So Goodman strikes out the side. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be Goodman leading us off against Gary Nolan. 1-0 Reds. And that's going to be a 7 off. Take a gamble. And it's going to be the batter. It's going to tell us that we're going to get a single if both left field and center field are stars. Line out. Oh, if both left field and center field are stars. And I do not think that Foster is a star. He is a star, and I'm pretty sure Geronimo's a star. So it's going to be a line out to center field. Oh no, Geronimo's not a star, so it drops in there for a single. Base hit for Goodman. And Lenny Dykstra up. Here's a pitch. And that is a 7 off of Dykstra, which is a high fly. To right, Ken Griffey makes the catch. Back to first is Goodman. Wally Backman is up. And that's an 11 off Backman's card, and that's a short single. Base hit, and stopping at second is Dwight Goodman. That puts runners on first and second here. Short single is basically runner advances one base, unless, of course, he's daring, and that's not the case. All right. So here's Keith Hernandez with runners on first and second. Mets have a runner in scoring position that could tie this ball game up with only one out. Keith Hernandez, clutch. And here's a pitch from Nolan. That's going to be a 9 off Hernandez. That's hard hit ground ball. This may be trouble, may turn into a double play. And nope. It's going to be a ground ball to second. Morgan's just going to go to first with that. Both runners move up. And here's Daryl Strawberry. Second and third, 2 outs. Nolan Ryan checks the sign with bench. He sets and deals to Strawberry. And that's an 8 off Strawberry. Swing and a miss. And second time, Strawberry goes down on strikes. And that retires the side. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and Cesar Geronimo in an excellent 1-0 ball game here. And this game moves along. And that is a 7 off Gooden. Going to pull the card. We're going to look at nobody on because there is nobody on. None on. Double. Driven in unless there's an ace pitcher, which he is. Batter swings and misses. Strike 3. What a pitch by Gooden. Totally fooled Bench, and he swung at a pitch outside the strike zone. Dwight Gooden, an ace. Gives you a big advantage. Tony Perez. And that's an 8. That's chop. To third. Ray Knight fires to first in time. 2 down. Cesar Geronimo. And that's a 10 off Geronimo's card, and that's going to be a question mark, but it's a righty versus a lefty, so that falls in there for a base hit. Strawberry gets it into Wally Backman. 2 out, 1 on. And here's Dave Concepcion. Pitch from Gooden. And that's an 11, but that's going to be off Gooden, and that is a walk. Ball 4. Oh, I made an intentional walk. Let me go back. There we go. And here's the pitcher. Nolan's 1 for 1. He's singled early in the game. Here's the pitch from Gooden to Nolan. Concepcion takes his lead off first. Geronimo takes his lead off second. 2 outs. Top of the 4th. 1-0 Reds. And that's going to be a 9 off Gooden, and that is a hard hit ground ball to shortstop Howard. Howard flips to Bachman. Wally Backman, and that's the inning. We go to the top of the 4th, bottom of the 4th, excuse me. That's the end of 3.5, 1-0. Reds have 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error, 5 left on base. Mets have no runs, 3 hits, no errors, 4 left on base. It's going to be Gary Carter leading it off versus Gary Nolan. And here's the pitch, and that is a 5 off Nolan. That's a chopper. To Rose at third and throws him out. 1 down. Next is Howard Johnson, also known as Hojo, pitch from Nolan. That's going to be a 5 off Johnson. That's ball 4. He walks. Good speed on the bases for Johnson. He's not given a daring, but he is a fast. He does steal a bunch of bases. Here's Kevin Mitchell. Give me a home run here. That's a 7, but that's going to be off Mitchell. That's a high fly ball left center field. On the run is Geronimo, and Geronimo's there to haul it in. Back to first goes Johnson. And here's Ray Knight with 2 outs. And that is a 5 off Ray Knight. That's a base hit single. Base hit single with 2 outs. No, runner's going to stop at second on this. So first and second here is Dwight Goodman. Goodman is 1 for 1, so both pitchers have a hit today. Oh, that's a double 5. We're going to see off who that's off of. It's going to be off the pitcher, and a 5-5 is a strikeout. Goodman swings and misses, and a high fastball, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 5th inning in our blast from the past feature, weekend feature. And let's hear from our sponsors. 1-0 Reds.
I used to spend all day in my kitchen, fixing, working, cooking. Then one day my son Ronald came home with a hamburger. Ronald, I said, better you should spend your time studying than running around chasing after hamburgers. And my Ronald said, Mama, now you don't have to complain about spending all day over a hot stove.
You used to complain then?
Only seldom. So I tasted it. Delicious.
The hamburger.
Delicious and only 15 cents, my Ronald said at McDonald's. You know, the Golden Arches?
McDonald's.
I didn't believe him. After all, 15 cents.
That is pretty reasonable.
Reasonable. You couldn't buy a roll for 15 cents, let alone with a delicious 100% pure beef hamburger inside. So I went to McDonald's. And I had a hamburger for 15 cents, a milkshake for 25 cents. Delicious. So now when I don't feel like slaving over a hot stove, we go to McDonald's.
And now you have nothing to complain about.
You haven't met my daughter Shirley.
It's out the job, 16 minutes in front of 9 o'clock.
Salem is the menthol cigarette. That weed freshes your taste for you. Salem is the menthol cigarette. You belong with Salem cigarettes. Don't take anything but the best. Salem is the menthol cigarette, the one brand that outsells all the rest. Yes, we mean you. You belong with Salem, America's first choice in menthol cigarettes. Salem is the menthol cigarette that refreshes your taste for you.
All right, why not take a long, deep drag of that Salem menthol cigarette? Well, think about why. Surgeon General has determined that cigarette smoking causes lung cancer. So don't do it. They don't tell you that, right? All right, let's get back to our game here. We are in the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be Rose, Griffey, and Morgan in a 1-0 ball game. This is a great teams from the past.
Looking
And
for sound effects?
let's bring this down
Check
a
out
little bit.
Epic Sound.
And
Discover
let's
over
get
30,000
this.
tracks and 6
There we go. Bring it down a little bit more. There we go. All right. Here goes. We're playing time travel baseball. It goes back to the 80s. Dwight Goodman versus Pete Rose. And that is a 7 off Goodman. So that's going to be take a gamble. And with nobody on base, complaining of arm trouble, pitcher is replaced. Check injury. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. So we're going to lose Gooden here. I do play injuries for the day. I don't let them last beyond that. But we're going to bring in a substitute for the pitcher, Dwight Gooden. See who we have. They're hiding back here. No, pitchers are back there. Oh no, that's the. All right, let's see if I can find the pitchers. I have the pitchers for the Reds. I don't see the pitchers for the Mets anywhere. There they are. All right, we're gonna bring in. I'm going to bring in Doug Sisk. See how he does. So Goodman is out. Doug Sisk comes in. Let's add him in there. All right, it's Doug Sisk versus P. Rose, and Doc has been injured. Here's a pitch, and that's an 8 off of Rose, and that's a hard hit ground ball to second baseman Wally Backman. He throws him out. 1 down. Ken Griffey up next. Here's the pitch to Griffey. Griffey's 1 for 2 today. That's a 10 off of Sisk, and that's a strikeout. So he gets Griffey swing. 2 down. Here's Joe Morgan. 1-0 game, top of the 5th. Snake Eyes. We're going to pull a card to see who we're going to read it off of. It's going to be off the pitcher, and that's a hit by pitch. So Morgan gets plunked, and he doesn't like it. Glares at Sisk, and Sisk ignores him. George Foster. Sisk has bigger fish to fry here with George Foster at the plate. Power hitting left fielder who hit 52 home runs, I believe, in 1977. But this is his 76 card. Hits about 25 home runs. So he's not as intimidating. His stats are not as intimidating the year prior to his, I think he was MVP of the National League that year, too. He had 52 home runs with 149 RBIs. Here's the pitch from Doug Sisk. And that is a 6. Oh, that's double threes. And let's see what happens. Who we're going to read it off of. We have to look at the picture. Picture says it's the batter, double threes. It's a pop fly double. And I believe with 2 outs, this is going to bring a run home. And yep, it does. So it's going to be a drive in the gap. It's going to bounce 1 hop off the wall. And around third comes Morgan to score. And George Foster slides in at second base under the tag with a 2-out RBI double. And here is Johnny Bench. Wait a second. Did we make a mistake on that? Hold on a second. Because I got the picture there. Yeah, I read off the batter, but I'm looking at... I got the picture here, so... Did I... Oh, it may have been this one. I put it back. I put it down in the wrong way. I think it was that card that I pulled. So, all right. So it's Johnny Bench. All right. I put it back in the wrong pile. That's what got me confused. All right. Here's Johnny Bench with a runner on second and 2 out here. It's 2-0 Reds. Pitch from Cisco. Again, another double. We're going to pull a card. And that is going to be a batter, so a 5-5. And that's going to be a deep fly ball, left field. Back goes Mitchell to the track and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Reds pick up a run on a couple of hits. And I actually hit by pitch and a double. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's take a look at the score. It's going to be 2-0. All right. Let's see if the Mets can get something going here. Starting off at the top of the lineup, Lenny Dykstra. Here's a pitch. And that is a 6 off Dykstra, and that's ball 4. So Dykstra's on base. Just what you want to do. Get something going here. And here's Wally Backman. And that is it's a 12, so 6-6. So we're going to actually, it's going to be read off the batter card, and that's going to be a double. And it's a drive down the line into the right field corner. Griffey plays it off the wall. Let's see if they're going to hold Dykstra. Let me see, faster. Yep, so we're going to score Dykstra on that. It's 2-1 ball game, and Backman is going to slide into second base, avoids the tag, and he is safe with an RBI double. Two to 1, and here's Keith Hernandez. And that's an 8 off Hernandez, and that's a sharp hit ground ball This is going to be right at Morgan, who flips to Concepcion, throw to first. Actually, I'm sorry. It's no, there's a runner on second. So that's going to be Morgan goes over to Perez, and runner advances 4-3. So now we got a tying run at third base. The Reds infield is going to be in for this to stop the tying run here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Welcome to Tony Porter's Blast from the Past, is where we go back in time and play games from the 70s and 80s and sometimes from the 50s and the 60s like APA and Stratomatic. And we play old 60s, 70s commercials, radio commercials. Here's Daryl Strawberry, left-handed hitter. Today he's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Gary Nolan on the mound. Rose, Concepcion, Morgan, and Perez all on the grass. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be an 8, and that's a strikeout. Again, Strawberry strikes out. Leaves a runner in third. He's not happy with himself. Dejectedly walks back to the bench, shaking his head. Here is Gary Carter with 2 outs. So can Gary Carter come up big in the clutch? Gary Carter has all kinds of positions on his 86 Mets card. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can. I could bring this in just a little tiny bit more. See if I can get a little closer peek at the cards and so forth. That'll help you just a little bit. Gary Carter, if you see this line right here, he's got first base, third base, left field, right field. He played a lot of positions for the Mets that season. Here's a pitch from Gary Nolan. And that is a 4, but that's going to be off Carter, and that is a chopper to third. Rose throws him out, and that retires the side. So the Mets score a run. They leave the tying run on base, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. Tony Perez leading it off against Doug Sisk. And that's a 9er off Sisk, and that's a deep fly ball. On the run is Dykstra, and he gets it. Got a nice jump on that ball. Read it nicely right off the bat. All right, here is the pitch to Cesar Geronimo. 1 out, nobody on. That's a 9er off of Zisk, and that's a deep fly to right center field. Strawberry digging, and he runs it down. Dave Concepcion with 2 outs. And it's a 9. It's going to be off Concepcion because basically if the black number is higher, you read off the pitcher card. If the black number is lower, you read off the batter card. It's a black 3 and a white 6, so that's a 9 total off of the batter card, which is a ground ball to short. Johnson plays it on a hop, bobbles it for a second, rushes the throw, low throw, scooped out by Hernandez to get Concepcion. Although Concepcion is questioning. It's here. It's a 2-0 game here in the bottom of the 6th now. There we go. And let's get this going here a little bit better. Let's quickly hear from our sponsors.
The acknowledged master of the unexpected, Alfred Hitchcock, thrust you into his new world of suspense.
Alfred Hitchcock presents Paul Newman,
You stay away from me. Don't talk to me.
Julie Andrews,
I love you very much. Would you please take me home?
in Torn Curtain.
Here is Alfred Hitchcock.
An extraordinary chain of events is set in motion in Torn Curtain by one small human miscalculation. It leads our principles to adventure, whose suspense will tear you apart. I cannot recall that I've ever had a more startling story to put on the screen. A story of shock and intrigue, of danger and deceit, of sheer terror such as you have never before experienced.
Alfred Hitchcock's Torn Curtain, starring Paul Newman and Julie Andrews in Technicolor.
Torn Curtain will tear you apart with suspense.
Now, the big sound of box, guitars, amps, and nothing more music. Box. Box. Steering of the pacemakers with 8 Part 5, the Kings, four of the other Raiders, they all use Fox. It's what's happening. Fox. Fox. Fox is the sound at the top. Fox. It's what's happening, baby.
All right, that's that. Our sponsors, Vox Guitars, and we're back to the game. It's the sixth inning, 2-0. We are in the bottom of the sixth. This is going to be Hojo, Kevin Mitchell, and Ray Knight. Pitcher on the mound for the Reds is the starter Gary Nolan, pitching extremely well. Reds have 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, and the Mets have 1 run, 5 hits, no errors, 7 left on base. Here's a pitch. Gary Nolan, it's going to be off Nolan's card. It's a 3, and that's a strikeout. So Hojo strikes out, 1 down. Here's Kevin Mitchell, pitch from Nolan. That's double 3, so we're going to pull a card from the gamble deck. That shows the batter, so we're reading the 3-3 off of Mitchell, and that's going to be ball 4. Mitchell walks down. He's a threat to steal, takes his lead. Nolan throws over. Once, twice. And Mitchell has a good lead over there. Here's a pitch to Ray Knight. That's high, but there goes Mitchell. Throw down from bench and the tag and save. Mitchell gets in there. Not easy to steal one from bench, but really stole it off the pitcher. All right, and Ray Knight now with the tying run at second base. See what happens. Here's a pitch, and that is a 5 off Nolan. That's a chopper. And if he's a righty, so runner will hold on that. Now we're going to see a pinch hitter now. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be Danny Heap coming in to pinch hit. So Doug Sisk is out. Heap is in. He's a lefty. And we'll have a new pitcher. It will be, let's get him in there. I'll bring in Jesse. Who do we have? The pitcher, Rose and Griffey. I'll bring in Jesse Orozco. But we will flip him over so we remember to that we have to write him in. All right, it's a little kind of probably string around your finger to remember. All right, it's Danny Heap with the tying run at second base and Mitchell Page. Mitchell Page's speed. Let's take a look. That matters in this game. Mitchell Page's speed in this game is going to be, he's fast. I'd like him to be daring. That's probably the best you can get. But he's not, so what can we do? Here goes. Here's the pitch from Nolan. And that is an 11, but that's going to be off Heap, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Danny Heap swings at a ball that's outside the strike zone. And here comes Lenny Dykstra. Oh wait, there was 2 outs. That's the end of the inning. So the Mets failed to capitalize on the runner at second, the single and the stolen base. They leave a runner at the tying run at second base. And here comes Jesse Orozco. All right. Again, it's going to be the pitcher, Gary Nolan, batting. 2-1 ball game here in the top of the 7th. Reds are up. It's a double 2, so we pull a card that's off the pitcher, and a double 2 is going to be a 3-2 count. And what does that? That means pick a gamble card, pitcher image, strikeout. Otherwise, it's a walk. Let's see if it's a pitcher image. It's a batter image, so it's going to be a base on ball. So Jesse Orozco walks the pitcher. Ouch. Not what you want to do. And Orozco is visibly disturbed or frustrated with himself for walking the pitcher who was the leadoff batter. And Gary Carter is going to go out there and just settle him down for a split second. All right, Pete Rose steps into the box. He's batting from the right side against the lefty Jesse Orozco. Gary Nolan is on at first. Here's the pitch. And that is going to be a 10 off of Rose, and that's a short single, base hit. Through the hole, and Kevin Mitchell plays it quickly into Hojo. They keep Nolan at second base. So runners on first and second here, nobody out. And up comes Ken Griffey, and he is not a fine bunter, so they're not going to bunt with him. Here's a pitch to Griffey from Orozco. That's a 10 off of Orozco, and that's a strikeout. I believe that's the third time that Griffey struck out today. Runners on first and second, Joe Morgan. Remember that the score here in the top of the seventh inning is 2-0 Reds. Oh, actually, it's 2-1. Excuse me. Mets scored a run. So definitely the Mets don't want any more runs to score at this point. So there's one out, first and second. Here comes Joe Morgan. Here's a pitch. And that is a niner, but that's going to be off Morgan. That's a hard hit ground ball. And a hard hit ground ball is going to move the runner. Oh, alert defense, which they are, and looks like it's a ground ball to Backman. And Backman flips to Hojo, throw to first, double play, and the Mets get out of it. Mets defense shows up big. And after allowing the first two runners on, the Mets turn a double play to get out of the inning. Pitcher's best friend, soul-crushing double play. Inning-ending, soul-crushing double play. Kurt Berglund. Lenny Dykstra leading off against Gary Nolan here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Blast from the past. This is a 1980s game, time travel baseball. Lenny Dykstra. I don't have the old the old gamble cards. I don't have the old charts or boards, but I am in the market for those. If I get those, that'd be great. Guys have sent me pictures, but I just rather have the originals. Lenny Dykstra, that's going to be a 9 off of Nolan. That's a hard hit ground ball to Morgan. Morgan over to Perez, 1 down. Bottom of the seventh, 2-1 Reds. Here's and we may bring in a pinch hitter here because Backman is just not. And we're going to bring in Lee Mazzilli, and then for second base, to play second base, we'll have Tim Tuffle. All right, so Mazzilli's coming in to pinch hit. Let's write him in quickly. I'm using Lee Mazzilli. He's a switch hitter. I'm using iScore on an iPad. You can get iPads, for around 80, the 8-inch for about $80, and this has lasted me 4 years. So the investment is $20 a year to keep all my stats. So definitely worth the investment. I don't have to worry about any stats; they're all kept for me. So I can look at them when I'm interested, and if I'm not interested, I just keep on rolling games, which is what I really like to do. So 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the seventh, and a 2-1 Reds lead over the Mets. It's the 76 Reds over the 86 Mets. Here's a pitch from Gary Nolan. Oh, I was looking for that 66. I got a 9, and that's going to be read off Mazzilli. That's a sharply hit ground ball to Morgan, and he throws to Perez for out number 2. And here is, while Backman's out of there, Tim Tuffle will be the new second baseman. And so let's just put him in there. All right, here's Perez. Again, here's Nolan against Keith Hernandez. And that is a 9 off of Keith Hernandez, and that is a hard hit ground ball. Perez is going to take it himself, and that will retire the side. Second baseman, we're going to write in Tuffle. And the nice thing about iScore gives you your box score, so I have a nice box score at the end of the game, although I wish they would upgrade it so it would write in the positions of the players. It doesn't write the positions in there. So you just have the name of the batter, but you don't have the position he played, which is annoying. That is one of the things I'd like to see improved. All right, it's Jesse Orozco here in the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be George Foster, Johnny Bench, and Tony Perez. 2-1 Reds. Here's a pitch from Orozco to Foster. And that's going to be a 5 off Foster, and that's a chopper to third. Ray Knight throws him out. 1 down. And John Bench. And that's an 11. This is going to be off Orozco. That's going to be a base hit through the hole. Johnson did not reach it. So Bench is on at first. Here's Tony Perez, the pitch from Orozco. That's a 7. Look at 7 is going to be with a runner on first base. Catcher picks off the runner at first. Catcher 0 pegs the throw into right field, but no, he's a 2. So he does throw out. He surprises Gary Carter, totally surprises Bench at first and picks him off. And he is picked off. He's an out, and that's picked off 2-3. What a play by Gary Carter. Heads up play. And he caught Bench napping, which is highly uncharacteristic of Johnny Bench. And here's a pitch. That's an 11. That's going to be read off Perez, and that's ball 4. And Perez with a lead on first. Orozco throws over. Cesar Geronimo is at the plate. He's a lefty hitter. He's 1 for 3 today. Struck out, singled, and flied out. We're in the top of the 8th with 2 outs. Tony Perez on at first. Got a little bit of a lead. Orozco throws over again. And here's a pitch to Geronimo. There goes Perez. The throw down from Carter. Throw is a strike. And the tag, and he is safe. So Tony Perez steals second. Surprises everybody in the stadium. And 0-1 the count on Geronimo. He fouls one off. And here's a pitch. And he lines one, just foul. About a foot off the line, down the right field line. So Geronimo hit it on the nose, but pulled it foul. 0-2 the count. And here's the pitch from Orozco. Runner on second takes his lead. And that is an 11. This is going to be off Geronimo, and 11 is going to be a drive in the gap, and that's going to bounce off the wall, and Lenny Dykstra plays it, and Geronimo hustling into second base with a 2-out RBI double. And makes the score 3-1 now. So Cesar Geronimo, after battling in that at bat against Jesse Orozco, lefty on lefty, drives one in the gap, splits the outfielders, bounces off the wall, and that scores Tony Perez, who singled and stole second. It's 3-1 now here in the top of the 8th inning. 76 Reds versus the 86 Mets. Dave Concepcion. All right, so we're going to walk Concepcion to get to the pitcher. Let's do that. Intentional walk. And we're going to face Gary Nolan. Here's a pitch to Nolan. That's double threes. And it's going to be off the batter. And that's going to be a base hit single. And I believe that's going to score another run. Ouch. Yes, it does. Throw to the plate, cut off. And it's a 4-1 ball game now. It's an RBI single by Nolan, helping his own cause. Totally unexpected. So they walk Concepcion to get to Nolan, and lo and behold, Nolan comes up big. Here's Pete Rose with runners on first and second against Orozco. Let's see if we can get out of this damn inning. That's a 10 off Orozco, and that's a strikeout. Inning over. Orozco not happy. Throws his glove into the dugout. Kicks the water cooler. Here's Strawberry against Gary Nolan in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 4-1 game now. So a 4-1 game here in the bottom of the 8th. And it's Daryl Strawberry leading it off against Gary Nolan. And that's a 4 off Strawberry's card. It's a hard hit ground ball at Morgan. Morgan throws him out, 1 down. Gary Carter. Carter's 0 for 3 today. He reached out an error and grounded out twice. Here's a pitch. That's an 11, but it's off Nolan. That's a slowly hit ground ball. Pete Rose charging. Bare hands. It fires the first in time. Plenty of time with the slow-footed Gary Carter running, although he's faster than your average catcher. Just not a guy who's going to beat that out. Here's Hojo with 2 outs. And that's going to be a 10 off Hojo, and that's a base hit. So Hojo's on. And down by 3. There goes Hojo, and he's safe at second base. Kevin Mitchell. And that's a 6. That's off Nolan. That's a base hit single that will score a run. So Kevin Mitchell singles home. I believe it was Gary Carter. No, Hojo, I'm sorry. And it's a 4-2 ball game. Sparky Anderson's going to go out and talk to Gary Nolan. And it's going to be Ray Knight. Ray Knight today's 1 for 3. He's grounded out single and grounded out again. And Kevin Mitchell takes his lead. Ray Knight checks the sign. Here's the pitch from Nolan. And that is going to be a 3, but that's going to be off Knight. That's a base hit single. Stopping at second. And stopping at second is Kevin Mitchell. That puts the tying run at first base now. Now we're going to go and check quickly we're going to check the schedule of this. The lineups and the bullpen priority. The closer is Raleigh Eastwick. We're in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. So we're going to bring in Eastwick. I'm going to say that he's going to go for a 4-out save. So we're going to be a pitching change. So we're going to go to hear from our sponsors while this happens. Let's see who we got here. Bottom of the 8th, the Mets have a couple of runners on, 2 outs, and it's going to be a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Orozco. We'll be right back. Let's hear from our sponsors.
This is Coppertone's Hollywood correspondent, Army Archer, visiting Sharon Tate, exciting co-star of the Martin Rassahoff film, Don't Make Waves. But you do make them in the picture, Sharon. Great big ones.
Yes, but pretty gay ones.
Best of all, seeing you on a surfboard, Sharon, is worth the price of admission.
Why, thank you, sir. I love being out in the sun.
And when someone asks how you get such a terrific tan?
Well, I tell them, join the tannables. Use Coppertone. It really gives you a better tan.
Smart girl. Coppertone is enriched with moisturizers that make your skin more tannable. Keep it satiny smooth.
There's nothing like it. I agree when Vic Damone sings.
Get the fastest tan than anyone can. Tan don't hurt, get a Coppertone tan.
A Coppertone tan really brings out the best in a girl.
Sharon Tate, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Hey, look at us, the whole gang.
Yeah.
Here we are,
Yeah.
all together at
The International House of Pancakes.
oh boy, and here comes our lovely waitress,
Hello, my name is Gloria.
Gloria.
Gloria, Gloria, Gloria.
Everybody one at a time, now so we're gonna have a waffle. big body member omelet. And Cindy wants a chicken pot pie and buckwheats over there. And a Swiss burger here. And Barbara, what do you have?
A hot fudge sundae.
Swell. Okay, now, Freddie, what do you want?
I want
Freddie, make up your mind.
Come on, Freddie, what do you want? I want to go to Little Boy. Who serves you the best of pancakes in the whole wide world. And a menu of family dinners too. It's the Pancake House with the bright blue roof. The International House of Pancakes.
That's who.
Here are a few words from Jim Morrison of the Doors about the most exciting new magazine of our day.
This is Jim Morrison of the Doors, suggesting you can light your own fires and open your minds by turning on to a new magazine called Cheetah. If you can't cop a copy from a friend who has one, it's now in your neighborhood newsstand, with the kind of stories and pictures that really say something. There's Mama Cass on a field of daisies advertising flower power. There's a profile of Brian Wilson, the genius head of the Beach Boys. There's a report on the Boston scene from someone who's obviously been there, and more. It's a magazine with soul. Cheetah. For all you who are willing to let words and ideas ignite your imagination.
Cheetah magazine. It's got the words, the pictures, the thinking that makes it must reading for...
All right, we're back. And let's see what we got going here. We are in the bottom of the eighth. The Mets have a couple of runners on. And Raleigh Eastwick is taking his warm-up pitches. Ed Hearn is going to pinch hit for Jesse Orozco. So we're going to need a new pitcher for the Mets in the top of the inning. And I have a feeling it's going to be McDowell, Roger McDowell. All right, so 2 outs, and Raleigh Eastwick faces Ed Hearn. 2 runs on. Score here is 4-2. Reds in the bottom of the eighth. Here's a pitch from Eastwick. And that's going to be a 4 off Eastwick, and that's a deep fly ball off the bat of Hearn. Deep left center field. Back goes Geronimo and Foster to the track, and it's Foster who makes the catch. And that gave Eastwick a scare for sure. But the wind must be blowing in out there because the wind held that ball in. Ed Hearn hit it a ton, but it just did not carry. All right, so have a new pitcher. It's going to be McDowell, Roger McDowell. Big part of that 86 Mets run to the World Series. They won 108 games that year. He was a big, huge part of that. All right, and he'll be facing Ken Griffey here in the 9th inning. Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan, and George Foster. Griffey doubled to lead off the game, but then struck out 3 consecutive times. Here's the pitch from McDowell to Griffey. And that is going to be a 7 off McDowell. We're going to pull the card, and it's going to be with none on, a single blooper star left fielder, which Kevin Mitchell is not. Oh, he is a star. What a catch. A sliding, rolling, diving catch. Full extension by Kevin Mitchell in left field. Give him a star for that catch. That looked like a base hit for sure. A little sinking liner off the bat of Griffey. Kevin Mitchell makes a great catch. And here's Joe Morgan. And that is a 5 off of Morgan. That's ball 4. And Morgan's always a threat to steal. McDowell throws over a couple of times. Morgan back. And Roger McDowell whips it over to first. And the tag, and Morgan head first, but he is safe. Gets up and dusts himself off. And up at the plate is George Foster, and McDowell checks the sign. And here's a pitch. There goes Morgan, throw down. And he is safe with a stolen base. Morgan steals second base. And with 1 out, we're going to intentionally walk Foster to pitch to Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench batted .230 versus Foster's .300. Here's the pitch from McDowell. That's an 11 off of Johnny Bench, and this is a chopper. And this is going to be a fielder's choice to Johnson, flips to Tuffle. Going in hard as Foster breaks it up. So 2 outs now. Runners on first and third. And here comes Tony Perez. 2 outs, 2 on, top of the 9th, 4-2 Reds. And that is an 8. McDowell, slow ground ball. Hojo charges it, fires the first in time, and that retires the side. The Mets are down to their last 3 outs, 4-2. They're down 4-2 in game 1 of this tournament, of great teams tournament. My team is obviously the 86 Mets, and playing somebody else's team. They send me the rosters and they send me the lineup, they send me the order of pitchers and so forth, and their closer, and I kind of follow the instructions. All right, it's going to be Lenny Dykstra batting from the left side, leading it off. It's going to be Dykstra, the second baseman, Tuffle, and then it's Keith Hernandez. Here's the pitch from Raleigh Eastwick, the closer. And that's a 4 off of Dykstra. That's a strikeout. Swings and misses at a ball in the dirt. Dykstra, not happy with himself. Where's Tuffle? There he is. Tuffle is up. Tuffle batted 247. Has a little pop. That's an 11 off of Tuffle. That's ball 4. So Tuffle walks. That brings the tying run to the plate. It's Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez steps in. He's 0 for 4. He struck out, grounded out 3 times today. He's got a little pop. Actually, he's got really no home runs on his card at all. And the pitcher doesn't either. He could get a home run off a gamble card. Here's a pitch. That's going to be a 7, but it's going to be off Hernandez. It's a high fly ball to right center field, excuse me. Right there is Geronimo. He holds it in for out number 2. So the Mets are down to the last out, and it's Daryl Strawberry. Daryl Strawberry is the guy with 1 swing of the bat and tie this up. 4-2 Reds, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, runner on first. Daryl Strawberry, the batter. So home run here will tie up the ball game. Raleigh Eastwick checks for the sign. We're playing time travel baseball on Blast from the Past Saturday, a program that we showcased games, the older games, the APA, the Strats, the Status Pros, the time travel, the replay, the classic replay, and so on. Catico's game, and so on. Here goes. Pitch from Eastwick to Strawberry. That's a 4 off of Eastwick, and that's a deep fly ball off the bat of Strawberry. Back goes Griffey to the track, to the wall, looks up, and makes the catch. Ball game over. And the Reds beat the Mets in game 1 of this tournament by a score of 4-2. The win's going to go to Nolan. The loss is going to go to Doc Goodman, who left the game early with some arm, shoulder tenderness, if you will. And that's about it, my friends. Let's check this out. The win's going to go to Nolan. Eastwick's going to pick up a save on this one. The loss goes to Doc Gooden. And it was 4 runs for the Reds. Final score here, it was 4-2 final score. Reds with 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 11 left on base. The Mets with 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 11 left on base. And let's quickly look at the Reds scorebook, see if anybody in terms of hitting was outstanding. Let's see who we got here. Oh, we got really no red with more than there was a bunch of walks I'm noticing. Did you see Cesar Geronimo? I went 2 for 4. And and Gary Nolan. Actually, no, that was not Gary Nolan. Oh yeah, Gary Nolan went to 2 for 3. So the pitcher had 2 hits. P. Rose had 2 hits in this game. He went 2 for 5. Single in the first and single in the 7th. And that's pretty much it. So I guess Gary Nolan is the MVP of this ball game, and he'll share with Raleigh Eastwick. And that was game one. I'm going to set up game two, and this is a blast from the past. Hope you enjoyed the 70s commercials, and we're going to go our closing. Let's get our closing soundtrack. Let's see if we can get that going. Trying to get the sound here for closing. Let's see if we got that going here. There we go. And this is Tony Porter, back from the dead in Texas, power outage, with some time travel baseball, presenting Blast from the Past. The Reds beat the Mets by a score of 4-2 in game one of this great teams tournament. We have a bunch of teams in there like the 31 A's, the 62 Giants. Let's see what we got here. Let's get back to the 76 Mets. So we got a bunch of teams here that the 76 Reds, the 86 Mets, 62 Giants. Who else do I have? The Yankees, the 60-something Yankees. The 63 Yankees are in this tournament as well. So we'll be playing them. I believe we play them next, I believe. After this three-game set, we play the 63 Yankees. So thanks for watching. Check this out when you have a chance. And subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And we appreciate that. This is Tony Porter signing out from a Blast from the Past weekend program. Take care, guys. Red Sox fan, hello there, brother. I'll see you soon.